It is December the 3rd, and we have decorated for Christmas, so that's nice. Yesterday was my son's birthday party. His birthday was on November the 29th. He is now 3 years old, and I am just a hot mess after the birthday party because there was so much to do. I used 3 days of cleaning and washing and cleaning and washing and cleaning and washing all day, every day. Not much stitching going on. And yesterday there was a bunch of people. He loved it. He was so happy. Both the little celebration we had on Thursday, and yesterday on Sunday was both a very big success. He was super happy, so it was worth it. But you get a hot mess of me today. Haul. The silks for you of the month came in for November. So there are a beautiful variation of pinks and pink to purplish. So lovely colors. They look really amazing, and I like the fact that these ones have a tiny bit of variegation in them, even though they're almost solid. Sometimes with the solid ones you get like solids in silks for you, which is nice, but also getting the just tiny hint of variation is also really nice. So that's my haul. There will be more because Black Friday, but it hasn't come in yet. So my Lady and the Tiger, I have worked on her let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days, I think, something like that. When I was done with all the Christmas presents, I really lost my stitching bug, like really had trouble. But what I do when I lose my stitching bug is I sit down and I try to work on a different whip each and every day. And sometimes I will try to work on one that I work on the same and one that I do a different one, just to work on something a little more confetti-ish, sometimes to work on something more block-like, something to work on motifs, just to change it up and see if my stitching bug is coming back. And my Lady and the Tiger was the one to save my stitching bug, because I am in a part where there is a lot of blocks of color, and that was just what I needed. Something that didn't need brain power, just stitch back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So I have actually loosened the frame. So here she is now. The only thing you can see is the last few stitches down here. It is to hold the fabric in place, because the reason she is off is I had to try to secure the fabric again. So here she is. Her face is now all done. I completed her face yesterday. So yeah. So I am thinking I might want to go and do more on page 2, maybe finish it, but I also really would be cool to finish her fully off, but then I would need to go down to page 7. which is down here. So, but we'll see. Next time you see me, you will see where I am at with that one. So, next up, I also yesterday pulled out my The Possibilities just for the Stitch Talk challenge. So what I did, it's not much. I just did a row here of black, and then I poked my finger and I poked the place where I have some kind of strange thing going on. I should maybe see the doctor. And it started bleeding a lot, so that killed my stitching bug for this one. And I was also tired of big blocks of colors from Lady and the Tiger, because I can only do so much before getting a little bit tired. So that was my possibilities. Last what am I going to call it? Dropped you off. Last video, I hadn't completed my Stitch Talk for that week, but I have now, but I haven't for this this week. So here I am with that one. And it is going to say what everyone was in the end anticipating. Home is where the, and we can fill in the last clue ourselves. So we'll try and get that working soon. It really hasn't been calling me. It's harder and harder to pick it up. As I said, I don't think I really like SALs. Or I like SALs. I like what they look like in the end. I like the fact that they're fairly big pictures that you can work on a little bit here and there and suddenly get it done. But what I don't like is the fact that I can't, like with this, especially this Stitch, I think has killed the SAL bug, is I can't just finish off a motif in a color and be done with it. It's like with Stitch, you have been, okay, you're going to do this part of the border and this part of the border, and then they leave out the middle part, so the next time you come back to it, you have to do that part, and that just annoys me a lot. So yeah, and also with other SALs, it's okay if you like get a whole border to work with, so you have like done all the colors of the borders and such. But when you have to do the border each and every time, and normally you would have put down your color and then you have to take it back out again, I don't like that. I like to finish off the color I can the way as I stitch. I normally stitch from top down, or in some cases from bottom to top. So next up is my adventure awaits. I had hoped to get this finished before the 22nd. That was not happening. Not before 22nd, but get South America done before the 22nd, so I could go right into North America. Didn't happen, so I ended up starting stitching on this the 28th of November, and again the 30th, and now I have worked on it both the 1st and the 2nd, and I will work on it today. here's where I'm at. So yesterday I managed to finish off South America with this cactus. So this is a part of North America, but from this cactus and down is South America. So everything above, like, there is North America. So while I worked on South America, you can see I did a good part of North America, but North America is a huge one, so that will take me longer than South America. So I think I still have 3 or 4 days work left, if not more. But what I did, I focused on doing the fishes, the boat, and the whale. And as I also just did one color of the border, this light gray one, just to have, I worked that around and up, just to have a skeleton for the continent. So when I did a color in the fish that wasn't in the other fish, then I got over here and did stitch on it there. The left I had of the floss. The same with the boat and the whale. And after that was done, then I just focused the color that was down to the bottom. I worked up as high as I could and then stopped, and then I would do the next. So then after all the borders here was done, then it was these 3 statues, then the palm tree, then this palm tree. This mountain was finished by doing the boat, because there is black and white in the boat, so that was finished off early because of that. Then the statue, then this cactus and this cactus. So next will be this pyramid, and I think the bridge, and so on. And also when I'm doing these motifs, I will, if it's not too much to jump, finish off the floss. So closing in on a finish on that one, that would be good. I need it for my stitch from stash. But with this finish and not finishing anything else, I will be on the plus side on my stitch from stash, because all of the Christmas stitching and stuff gave me a bunch of money. Because I did make coasters, so I just did tiny, not teeny tiny, but I did some small motifs, normally about 30 by 30, 20 by 20, something like that. So not the biggest ones, but still they're like a dense 20 by 20 or 30 by 30 block. And each one of those gave me $2 for my stitch from stash. So yeah, when you do a bunch of those, the $2 suddenly adds up. So when I was done with all my Christmas stitching, I did celebrate with a new start that I have been wanting to do for a while. It's a sal. Yes, I can hear you laughing right now. With me rambling on, I don't like sals, but this is a full coverage sal, and since I started working on this a little bit too late, it's not as bad. And the way I am working it is I do my way of parking, and for the parts that are released, I will stitch everything I can the way I park, and the rest will just have to wait until the next part is released and I can stitch those. And with full coverage, that it's not so much a problem, because I normally end up with my page by page parking getting like almost diagonal lines going downwards. And key warning or 8-bit stitch is releasing them. Like the first, I think we got 2 columns going fairly long way down, and then for the next one we got, I think it was 5 columns going a fair bit down. So she is releasing them with the thought of people doing parking. And the SAL is called no frogging, so you are not allowed to frog if you do a mistake. And it's called happy little accidents, because if you do a mistake and you can't frog it, this piece will still look great when it's done. So we have no clue what it is. That's all we know. And here's where I'm at so far. So I almost finished off this block. I'm doing this 1/1 on 28 count easy count of Zweigart Lugana. The pre-gridded one. So that's my tiny start on that one. Then I had another new start for December the 1st. It is Flossmas, Vlogmas, everything is going on in December. So Caroline from Off the Grid is doing Flossmas. I will not start a new start every day of December until the 24th. Just not happening, because I know myself, I would lose my stitchy bug. And but I wanted to be a part of Flossmas and celebrate. So, and I have a good amount of whips that I need to get going before 2019, where I will not start anything for the first 6 months, and then we'll see if I prolong it to 9 months. And I'm not sure if I will do more than 9 months, just because I have a feeling when the 9 months are over, I might have gotten the chatelaine kit that I want. And I'm not sure if the fabric and stuff that I ordered for the chatelaine is going to arrive in time, because I ordered it on Black Friday, and normally when I order from so and so, it will be here within a week. It did not, and now if it's delayed, then it's going to be slow, because Norwegian Post just hit the 1st of December and it's not go. It's like it stands still, basically. And also, if it comes international, there is the customs. I hope they don't do it this year, because they have, I know they have done it in October and part of November, because the customs will open up almost everything that comes into the country just to see there's something that is illegal in there, and that slows the postal service down, because the customs have to check everything before they can give it to the postal service to get it out, and it has to be treated at the postal service, which are overflowing with Christmas presents going everywhere. And December is a mess when comes to the postal service, just say that. So I don't have any big hopes that my package will now arrive before Christmas. I hope it does. There is a big chance it will. But if it doesn't, then things can be a little bit tight, because we are traveling to my brother for Christmas. So we will be away, and in all honesty, we have no clue when we will be coming back home. We haven't set a date yet. We take it, see how my shape is. I want to be there as much as I can. And because my husband worked as a teacher, this year they're not finished before, I think it's the 22nd is his last day, or 21st, whichever one is the Friday before that week. And then so we can't really get going before he is done work, and he did not want to travel the day after he is finished work, and I can understand that. Being a teacher, I am a teacher myself, just not working right now. It's a super busy time. You get so tired, even though the last days are just like watch a movie and stuff. You get more tired, and you get so stressed because you have to be in the classroom watching your students just watch a movie or something, and you can't do the planning you have to do for the next year, because everything has to be set for the next year before Christmas is done. So I know how hectic it is. He doesn't want to leave that day. That's okay. So the earliest we will be going is the 23rd of December. And in Norway, we celebrate Christmas at the evening of 24th of December. 24th of December is a half holiday, which means everything closes down at noon. So after that, it is a holiday. So half the day is a holiday, or more than half. And when I mean everything, the normal stuff, stores, kindergartens, yeah. The hospitals and such are, of course, still going and running. We're not like totally crazy here in Norway. So yeah. So we celebrate the 21st at the evening. And then we have the 25th and 26th, where we normally, in Norway, either just prolong the celebration with being with family and relaxing and having some fun days. The 24th is when we like really eat Christmas dinner. We open the presents under the Christmas tree. So the 25th is just a good day to relax and enjoy the company you're in, because every part of the Christmas celebration that is like stressful is done. And very often people would do like Christmas breakfast on the 25th or the 22nd. And yeah, so I fell down that rabbit hole. I'm so sorry. I started for Flossmas. That's where I'm starting this rambling. I started my Lion King. So I I long was unsure what fabric I wanted to do it on. And then when cutting the fabric, I was thinking, oh, this will fit. Because I decided on doing an even weave. And I ended up just thinking, okay, I can do a 28 count. Because I bought a yard from a sale. And I have been cutting up a whole lot of my full coverage projects. And for some reason, even though I had written down it's going to be 2/2, in my head when sitting and calculating, because what I do calculating is I count the number of squares up and down when it's gridded, this easy count, pre-gridded. So I have like a list over 3 inches on 28 count is 9 squares. I don't think if that's true, but I have a list over how many inches, how many squares each inch is. So I just calculate out from the squares I have, and I'm like, okay, if it's 495 sizes long stitches, then I think, okay, it's 50 squares, because one square is 10 stitches, and I will always round up so it gets a full square, even though it doesn't need, just because, or else I will end up having half a square and the counting for the next thing goes off balance. I have tried to just measure and cut where you cut the squares, and on one of my fabric I ended up having, the picture was like slightly, it got just a tiny bit too short of a border for what I liked. I already did have a really small border on it, because I was thinking, okay, 2 inches is fine. I can even do 1.5 inches, and that is what I think I did, 1.5 inches all around. And I ended up getting less because of the fabric being cut on the squares, and I needed all the full squares. So yeah, when I measure this, I just count the squares I have and calculate from there how many squares I need to cut for a piece, and see how many whips I can fit in. And what I kit up is depending on what can actually fit the best. So when cutting this, I had 2 whips that could fit in my mind. It was Lion King and another one. And the other one got a fair good border, because I was thinking this one was 1/1. But I have to do it 2/2, because there is a bunch of fractionals and stuff. And that's why I wanted it on even weave, because of the fractionals. I didn't want to sit and poke the Ada all the time. So, but it will still work. It's just when you see the border, don't be scared, it will be fine. So here's where I'm at so far. So this first 25 stitch block is done, because I'm doing 2/2. One block that normally is 10 by 10 is now 25 stitches, because one stitch 2/2 is the same as 4 stitches 1/1, basically. So you have to divide it in 4. So here's where I'm at. I'm just up in the sky. And I hope to get some more good time working on this. This will also be one of the things I will most likely focus on next year, because I am thinking I will try to maybe get this as a birthday present or Christmas present for my son. Or maybe like, since he have both his birthday and his Christmas right beside each other, we usually try and buy him some presents in like May, June, July, when it's summer holiday, just so not everything is at the end of the year. So I hope to get this done for him soon. So, but that's where I'm at now. I am doing my own conversion on this. So I have a floss card, mostly just to have my conversion on. I have even written at the back because I didn't bother to make two. I am thinking I will just, most of the colors, as you can see, are like, the purple ones are concentrated up here. Here is the only part where there's green, and so on and so on. So most likely I can make it work with just doing one floss card. And mostly what I put on here is the flosses that is blended, because there's also blended colors in this. So yeah, but love that one. I love The Lion King. It's one of my favorite Disney movies. So I'm really so grateful, Julie from Kansas City girl in a Colorado world, for gifting that to me. And I know my son will love it. He actually saw this on my stitching table and he was like, "Oh, it's a lion!" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna make that for you." And he was jumping up and down and running around the house, and like his dad was in the toilet, so he was like knocking on the door, "Daddy, Daddy, Daddy, Mommy is making me the lions." And it was super fun. He was so happy. So I really need to focus on that. So plans going forward. My Lady and the Tiger is the by the number sale for this month. So I will do at least 1200 stitches on that. I will try and finish my Adventure Awaits and my Stiach. And work on my Lion King. I also want to start my Cinderella that Stacy was so kind to borrow me and said I can use the kit. So my plan is to stitch on one Cinderella for Stacy and stitch one Cinderella for me. So this is a Moss Rose Opal 2nd edition by the Crafty Kitten. I didn't have much color choice when it comes to having to use this big piece of a fabric, because I needed to do, is it a half yard? Yeah, I think so. 18 by 27 inches of fabric. So it's like a green with a hint of pink and a little, it's like a green gray color and some pink splotches in there. So, and I haven't, even though I showed one for Stacy and one for me, I haven't decided which Stacy will get and which I will get. So I will decide that before sending it off. So the only thing I am missing is the treasures, I think. I don't think I have enough treasures to make 2, but I have ordered some extra beads and stuff. So, and I will just see how long this kit will last me before I run out of the floss. Of course, I will double check it against my DMC colors so that when I need to switch over to DMC, I know they will be correct. So, but I have a way to do that. So that will actually be 2 starts, in my mind counting as 1 start because I'm doing it twice. And next up is, I was also contemplating doing my Enchanted Snowman by Heaven and Earth Designs, but I have half stitch started that one, and there is another Christmas full coverage that I want to do and have had in my stash for a very long time, and it is this Secret Santa by Dimensions. So I will also start him this Christmas, and my thinking is giving him some good days of work and just see how long I get, and maybe bring him back up next Christmas or when I feel like it. I also have a fair bit of other things to half stitch starts. So one of the patterns I want to start is my Baked Alaska. In the Black Friday, when ordering from so-and-so, and I knew I would go over the custom limits and have to pay fees. It's not really a big difference going $50 US over or $100 US over. You know what I mean? It's not like the amount is double. It's just like, instead of being $15 to pay, I will pay maybe $18, something like that. So the amount you jump up, the amount you go over is like super high when you first go over our custom limits, but the higher you get over the limit, the jump isn't that high. It's just tiny bit, but it will add up. So going too high can be costful, but some extra beads will not be the end of me. So I ordered the bead, and I ordered the rest of the skeins. I will do the white. It calls for 3 skeins of neutral dinky dyes. I am just using my hank of white from Silks for You. I was thinking of maybe converting all the Silks dinky dyes to Silks for You, but some of them takes 3 or 2 skeins, and if I was supposed to do that, I would have to go down in stitch count, which in my head in the beginning was okay, that's fine. So I started trying to convert with what I had, but then I realized this calls for beads. I can't do like a 46 count and do beads. It will not fit. I will have problem even with trying to convert the beads to the smallest bead, the size 15. So instead, I bought the rest of the dinky dies. I had bought one of each just to see what colors they were for converting. So I bought the rest of the dinky dies and the beads I needed. And I found a fabric in my stash. This is Vintage Grey by Swigert, 28 count. And it calls for Ariel Cashel Linen hand dye by Picture This Plus, but Picture This Plus is hard to get in Norway. Usually what I can get is what they can get in the UK. You can get Picture This Plus, but it's difficult. There's not many stores having it, and there's not many stores having a good selection of Picture This Plus. So, and I didn't want to buy from the US because the shipping is crazy if I buy it from the US. So, but I did a floss toss because first I found a 28 count opalescent bluish fabric, which would be pretty close to Ariel when I was looking at the internet. But in all honesty, I don't know if I like it very much on the Ariel because the colors looks like they really blend in, especially the white one. When I tried it against the other, the white one did almost not show up at all. But on this one, the white one will really pop together with the blues, and when I put the colors together, it looked amazing. I was like, that's the one I'm going to use. I had just pulled it for funsies, just to have another color, just to see if I wanted to do it in another color that I had in my stash, and as I said, I loved it. So I don't know if I will fully start this or half stitch start, but what I have found is often with these not full coverage, it's hard to do just a half stitch because suddenly you don't know where you are. But this one, I think I can count to the corner and just do a half stitch in the corner, and I will know where I am. So I think that will be fine. So that was my baked Alaska. I also have kitted up the 2 dragons I got from Adele as a gift. I just need to put the picture going out in the folder so I don't show the pattern, because for some reason that's what I had done. So these 2 are kitted up with the fabric I got from Stitching Mommy. They both will fit on that fabric, and it's a nice light blue color, and I think they will look amazing. I was first thinking of doing Ada, but they have some fractionals and stuff, and I really like the blue color on the fabric I got from Stitching Mommy, and I think it's a perfect color for dragons because it looks like a clear blue sky. So those are kitted up, ready to half stitch start. I might need to do more than just a half stitch, but I will still count it as a half stitch start because when I do, I usually work on it less than 5 minutes, and I don't count that as a start, at least not for me. I also have my Magical Night by Theresa Winsler. And I had this kitted up with another fabric that I was supposed to do for the Year of Whips 2018. I pulled it off Year of Whips 2018, and one of the reasons was I was not really happy with the fabric. It was just a fabric I had in my stash that could fit, but it wasn't really what I wanted. So one of the fabrics I bought when buying the Passion Ricamo patterns, she also sold 2 hand-dyed fabrics she did. And one of those is this one. And can I get it to show up a little bit more true to color? Something like maybe the other side. Yeah, something like this. So you have this light pink and light blue with some hints of darker blue going through it. So it reminds me of the Northern Lights, how they look when you get like not the green tones from the Northern Light, or the Aurora Borealis. Because depending, basically the Northern Light is excess particles being shot out from the sun when there is big sun activity. And when those particles get into the atmosphere, it will hit some of the atoms, other particles in the air, and the energy being released from that crash makes the colors. And depending on what particle it hit, what atom it will hit, depends on what color you get. So normally you will often get green light, because that is when the particle hits oxygen, which there is a lot of in the atmosphere. But you can also get blue and pink. And one of the really big sun activities going back to when I was maybe 8 or 9 years old, maybe 10 years, something like that. The activity was so big that we could see it down here. Sometimes we can see it down here in the more south part of Norway. And we actually got a fair bit of blue and pink in the Northern Light that hit us. It wasn't that green. So I remember seeing it. We just got a little bit glimpse from it, but it was amazing. So I still remember that and really wanted to do that one on like the Northern Light fabric for me. So I know the Northern Light is normally mostly green, but for me it's blue and pink, because that is what I have seen in real life. So, and you can only see the Northern Light when it's dark outside, so often there can be big sun activity in the summertime, which you never will really see the Northern Light because it's too bright outside. So, and yes, I am a science teacher, so I know stuff. Let's just say that. So that was my short explanation of how the Northern Light works. So I will, and I think I want to start the magical night, just because it gives me the Christmas feel. And like magical night, what night is magical? Oh, Christmas, Christmas Eve, Christmas night. So I think I want to like start that one, especially since that is one pattern I had planned to start this year, but since I never could find a fabric that I really wanted or liked for that one, and when I got the other fabric, I just, in a way, I have stopped looking for a new fabric for Magical Night. So now when I was going through and see what I had kitted up, I was like, oh yeah, that's right, I don't like that fabric. I need to find another one, especially since it was maybe almost a year since last time I kitted up. It's a good way to see if you still like the fabric. Coming back a year later and seeing that no. So, so yeah, I looked through what I had, took out the colors that would fit and the sizes, because now I am starting to get a really big chunk of 46, 56, 40 count fabrics, and fabric that needs beads I can't really do under 38 count, no, 36 count. And yeah, that stash is slowly starting to disappear, because I am starting to also kit up my Mirabilias, trying to assign fabrics that I like, that I have in my stash, to those. So next time I'm doing a fabric of the month, I might need more of those kinds of fabrics. And I really want my Mirabilias on my opalescence, so most of those are already taken. So that's the only thing so far I don't like about Extrude Design, because I really like her fabric, but you can't get opalescent in the fabric of the month. I would if I asked, I just haven't asked. So yeah, that's that. I also have this kit, Wizard by Janlin. I think it's just called the Wizard. I can't really find Moonlight Wizard, it's called. It's done on a black fabric, so I will also try to half stitch start this. So, and I just have some other like smaller ones kitted up. Some it's PDF, some is smaller kits and stuff, but I don't know if I will do those. All I have shown now, I know that I will try to start or half stitch start in December. So December is going to be a busy stitching month. So yeah, and in a way, since it's so much easier to half stitch start full coverage, I have done a bunch of those. So, but most likely I will not start stitching every one of them. At this point, I am just kitting up and half stitch starting them, just so I have them started for future years, thinking 2020, 2021, and so on. I am not thinking everything right now, but since I lost my stitching bug, it was a nice thing to do when I didn't really want to stitch. So I forced myself to just stitch a tiny bit to see if the bug was coming back. And if it wasn't, I would go kit up and just half stitch start a good part of what I kitted up. Not everything, so there's still some left. So that's my plans. This turned into a long one. I kind of like knew that beforehand because my brain is not working. And you probably have heard my voice is starting to fail me. I woke up today and my voice was like rough. So I'm a little bit sore in my throat, so probably getting a flu or something. Yay me. But that's typical me. I have been stressing since October. Yesterday I really forced myself to relax after the birthday party and just stitch. So it was way too late. That's why I managed to actually get some progress done, especially on my adventure awaits. And when I finally could feel myself relaxing, I started to feel that I got a fever and stuff like that, and that is typical for my illness. When I'm finally landing after a big period of stressing, that's when the illness will really hit me. So I get fever or feverish. I can feel the exhaustion. I get dizzy in my head, like I really have to hold tight going down the stairs so I suddenly don't just fall. Done that once, not going to do that again. And yeah, so these next weeks I joked with my husband and said that I will sleep until Christmas. So, which pretty much will not be totally untrue. So, but I will go with it, and I will try to still force myself to wake up at the hours I should. And this week I have been really bad with drinking soda again. Mostly because of my husband, because he sees that I am tired and that I am stressed, and he can't force me to sit down and relax because I won't relax when I know we are getting people over and I need to get Leo's birthday as perfect as I can do it, even if it means I have to push myself over the limit I normally can push myself. So that's just the way I am. My husband say I'm hopeless. So yeah. So he has often come to me and given me a soda just to be nice. And since I am trying to reduce my soda intake, it's nice of him, but at the same time, I always feel bad afterwards drinking it, but I know I needed it. So no soda this week until the weekend starts. So that is all I have for you today. I have been rambling on long enough. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for coming back if you are our returning subscribers. I really love sharing my stitching plan, and it's so nice to have you on a visit. It truly is. I live in a small country where cross-stitching isn't something a lot of people do, and most of people doing cross-stitching are not actually doing cross-stitching, they are doing hardhanger. So it's nice to have someone to share your passion with, because that is something I don't have in my life otherwise, except for all you lovely people on Flosstube. that I either speak with just through my Flosstube videos or in my spare time. So thank you so much. I really appreciate the support and the fact that somebody wants to come and see my stitching and listen to me ramble on. So with that, I will say goodbye. I will at least do one more update before Christmas. So I will leave you with that. See you next week. Goodbye.